All right, so we are with Embracing Singles. We are wrapping up Breaking Soul Ties, the series that we have been on for the last couple months. Life has happened. We missed a couple calls, which has stretched this out a little bit. But we are just finished up the last section of this series, which is the healing process. So I just want to take a little time for the ones that are on this call, if you can just give me your biggest takeaway. It's a two-part. I want you to give me your biggest takeaway. And if someone came to you today as your friend or as a coworker and said, I am in this toxic situation, can you tell me how to uh, get out of this? A lot of unsafe people, I'm sorry, do not understand soul ties. And if you begin to talk to them, unsafe person, about soul ties, they're going to look at you like you're crazy. I did have someone ask me before, how do we talk to someone who is not saved about getting out of a soul tie? So we'll stop calling it a soul tie. Just simply say, is this situation toxic for you? If you're not saved, you don't understand soul ties. So if someone came, if you can just give me just a little feedback on how you will be able to help someone else in the day to day on breaking soul ties. Is there anyone that's willing to go first?
I
I would
just
just
say
say,
that, oh, go ahead, Cookie.
I was just going to say, I would ask them first and foremost, are you really ready to let go of the relationship, soul tie, whatever it is, right? That they're coming to me for. Are you
Correct.
truly ready to let go? Because I can tell you and give you all the advice in the world, right? I can go back in my notebook and give you every step that we done covered from day one, right? But are
Mm-hmm.
you really ready? Because if you're not ready, then none of this is going to be beneficial to you.
Okay. What is your biggest takeaway
From tonight or just overall?
overall, the overall series?
Um, just
And if
being
you
able
have to
to
break it down
listen.
into four, you can. If you have to break it down into four series, but the overall, what you got either out of each section or overall uh altogether.
Um, just well, it's a lot. Just a little bit of nuggets from each session,
Okay.
right? Learning the different types of abuse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Learning the five W's, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, just learning all those different things and listening to different stories and perspectives and ideas. So it's really not just one thing I could pinpoint on. It's just a whole collection of things from day one till now. And just picking up and just learning and being able to know that I can use those to interact the next time, right?
Mm-hmm.
That the relationship comes about or whatever. So it's
Okay.
it's really a lot for me.
Okay. Anybody have anyone want to answer those two questions? I am not going to call your name just because this is recorded. So if you have something, please share.
I was just going to say for the first one part, as Cookie mentioned as well, that there is a way out, that you're not the only one. And I would want to, encourage through even my testimony of, hey, there's some solutions here. You have some options, right? And a choice. So you're not stuck, you know, and to show that empathy, and to be compassionate, that whether they're ready or not, as Cookie was mentioned, I think that is the key. But that, hey, I know that without a shadow of a doubt, you're not going to be alone in this, and to give them that encouragement.
Okay.
The overall, I would say for me, the biggest takeaway is that this is a process. I mean, that repentance piece and really going through those steps to really list it out, to see it on paper, uh, it takes you a minute, to even get yourself to get the courage to even maybe write it down or to speak it out loud. Those pieces you cannot ignore. You cannot skip through this. This is something, is not a race. You cannot take any shortcuts. And that is the biggest takeaway from this process. It's going to be steps. It's going to be your own journey. One journey does not look the same.
Agreed. Anyone else want to add anything?
I think my biggest takeaway is that the first thing that you have to do, and I guess this is going to answer the question about how you talk to somebody about soul ties that are not safe. So the first thing that you have to do is recognize unhealthy relationships that you know you need to cut ties with. Identify those unhealthy relationships. Be clear about, even if you have to sit down, like Minister Shay was saying, and write pros and cons. What is your idea of a healthy relationship? Do these relationships meet the metrics of what you perceive a healthy relationship is? If not, are there things that need to be worked on? Can they be worked on? And if not, then where do you need to begin to cut ties? That's the first thing. Once you realize the unhealthy relationships or whatever needs to be, the cord needs to be cut. Once you realize that, the second thing that I have learned is that what you have to do is you now have to learn how to forgive yourself and love yourself. You can't have more compassion. You can't love, or you should not. You can't have more compassion for other people than you have compassion for yourself. So you have to be gentle with yourself. You have to have compassion for yourself. You have to understand yourself. And the biggest thing is you got to know yourself. And if you don't take the time to know yourself and you don't take the time to know your boundaries, then you don't know where people are falling short at in the metrics. And you're not even able to gauge where you got off the path. And so there's things that you have to be willing to look at inside of yourself to say, where did I go wrong with me? Where did I mishandle myself? I mishandled me. And you really truly got to, even if it's a mental thing, I talk about it in therapy, where it's like some days, and I know Shamika is not a very imaginative person, but there's days that I have to, or there was a time that I had to really go back, close my eyes, and see myself as a 16-year-old girl and apologize to that girl, to say, I'm so sorry for the way I mishandled you. I'm so sorry for the things that you're going to encounter in life that's going to make life so tough for you. I'm so sorry that I did this to us, but we are so much stronger. We are so much better. I love you. And we can get through it. That you're going to see how tough you are. You're going to be an amazing mom. You're going to be an amazing friend, a sister, a brother. And, all these things is the things that I had to say to myself. Not brother. I don't know why I said that, but you know what I meant. And so it's like I physically had to do that. And then what it did was it allowed me to heal and say, like, "Ooh, okay, now I can be patient with myself and say, look how far we've come. Be patient with me and take it easy on you. Sometimes we are so hard on ourselves. So we got to learn how to take it easy on us. And then once you do that type of work with yourself, now start committing to the work to break those ties. Don't heal yourself and then allow yourself to be wounded again. What sense does that make? That's like going into the hospital, get patched up, and then going back out and saying, okay, you can stick me right here again, cut me right here again. I just healed. Why would you do that? So when you are looking at that, I would tell the person, learn how to make a commitment to yourself before you commit to someone else. Commit to you. Look at your commitments in the areas that you feel like you need to have work on. Look at how you commit to yourself. Look at how you show up for yourself. Showing up for yourself, I heard you guys say it earlier, it looks like depleting yourself. And that's not showing up for you. And so I only had to learn that again in therapy, and saying, like, I had to learn my yeses and my nos. And my mom she used to say that all the time, let your yays be yays and nays be nay. And when you go past the point of where now I'm tired and I'm still trying to do, you're not showing up for yourself. And that's what I would say. And that's what I learned, is that, like, I'm still looking at things that I thought was, like, oh, it's okay. During this call taught me, no. You still got work you need to do. There's still parts of you that be, I always say it's like that one thing's like, that's why you can't let people shenan because they be shenanigan all over the place. That's where it is. It's like I still have areas that I'm saying, okay, you need to be a little bit more stern in this area. You need to be a little bit more, you need to speak up more vocally here in this area. You need to be able to say what your needs are. And stop assuming that people can read your mind. You just have to stop assuming that people can read your mind and people know what your needs are. You hear it all the time, closed mouths don't get fed. Mm-hmm. So when you don't tell people what your needs are, why are you mad when they don't meet the need? You haven't told them, nor have you given them the opportunity to meet the need.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good. So for me, I know teaching this, you can't teach something and not learn from it. So for me, what I pray that everyone got out of this is, I think I said it on tonight's call, understand that it's okay not to be okay. Stay in the present moment. But in the beginning, I told you that breaking a soul tie, it's going to try to, it's kind of like the 12 steps. You really treating yourself like you're an addict. And actually, I know a lot of people look at addicts as drugs, alcohol, shopping, gambling, but you can have a love addiction. You can be addicted. You can be so addicted to love that you will do anything to have that next fix. That next, give me one hit of love. It may only last 5 minutes. It may last 10, but let me stay as high in love as I can, and I will chase that next high. And really that is what a toxic bond and soul tie can do. It will have negative effects on your life. You will begin to either gain weight, lose weight. You need to know the symptoms. That is one of the biggest signs, because sometimes we are in situations for so long that we don't even realize it's toxic anymore. If you're slowly ingesting, if you begin to ingest poison at a young age because your mother gives it to you, you have now acquired a taste for poison, and you won't realize that you're inhaling something or ingesting something that is really killing you. It's slowly killing you, and that is what being in a toxic relationship can look like. You can be in it for so long, your families can begin to tell you, this is not good for you. You're having negative outcomes, getting rode up at work. Your mind is all over the place. And then your family, the ones who really love you, become accustomed to you being sick. So now they don't even call it to your attention. They can see you being mishandled, and now they don't even argue with the abuser anymore. They sit around the table like it's normal, because now you have put a mandate of, this is what I want in my life. This is what it's going to take for me to stay in your life. And a lot of us become enablers. And whether if someone's coming to you trying to break one, or if you know someone who is in it, I am one that says, baby, I'm going to love you, but I can love you from a distance. I will not sit back and watch you kill yourself. If that's what you want, I'm going to love you enough to honor your wishes, and I'm going to pray from you on the back burner. But I will not take a front seat to you jumping off a cliff and committing suicide. Not doing that. And what we need to understand is, when we are in toxic relationships, that is what we're doing. We're slowly killing ourselves. We may not be jumping off a cliff, but we're killing ourselves spiritually. You will wake up and look in the mirror one day and you won't even recognize who you are anymore. Your identity, that is another thing that I hope everyone has gotten out of this, is when you begin to lose your identity in someone else other than Christ, that is a problem. Even when you are in a relationship, even when you're married, at some point you should still have a little bit of you somewhere in there. Self-care, make sure you're taking care of yourself. Give yourself time. Everybody's journey is different. If I can get over a heartbreak in 2 months, you may take longer to heal, and that's okay. That's okay, as long as you continue to heal. The specialist may tell you, I think about my son with the fractured with the fractured shoulder. The doctor said 6 to 8 weeks and you should be good. Well, he went from, it took him 5 months to be back to where he is supposed to be. So however long it takes for you to be restored and back to your original state, you take your time, but let's not gravel and lay in it too long. And just know that it's okay. Next thing I hope everyone got out of this is that you get you a support system. Somebody that really don't have a dog in the fight. It ain't got nothing to do with if they don't like who you're with. They are your biggest fan and they want you to win. Get you in a support system that is not going to be your yes man. Get you somebody that's going to tell you when you're wrong. Tell you when you're headed back down the wrong path. Tell you, I love you, but this is not it. Where you're headed is not where you want to go. Get you an accountability partner, get you in a support system. And then again, be okay with not being okay until you're really okay. I hope everybody got out of it. If you cry, it's okay to cry. It's okay to cry. But just don't stay there. Don't stay there. Keep moving. Keep moving. We're not going to repeat. I believe someone else said healing and then going back to what broke you. Don't do that. Don't do that. I think the biggest thing I can say is if you had to pray your way out of a situation, don't put yourself back in it. Don't put yourself back in it. We've all been there. The last thing, don't feel like you're alone. Everybody has been exactly where you're at, and they've overcame, and they have moved on to be in successful relationships, be in love with themselves. It's okay to love yourself. It's okay to be selfish at times. It's okay to say no. Set your boundaries. Set your boundaries and stand on it. I'm one that I'm from that show me state. I'm from Burke County and Caldwell County. I think they know about it. I'm from that show me. Keep that same energy. Show me. And so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to show you that I'm going to be better. I'm going to be wiser. I'm going to be bolder. I'm not going to be where I was last year. I'm not going to be where I was even on yesterday. I'm going to be better today than I am on yesterday. I think someone else on this call said something about comparison. Stop comparing yourself to other people. What God has for you is for you. And if someone else got it, when God says it's time to release it, it's going to release it. Now, let me put a pin right there. Don't be trying to say somebody else's husband, your husband, because that ain't what I'm talking about. I'm saying whatever God has for you is for you. And when it is time for you to have it, God will make sure you get it. So just know that you are not alone in this. And I hope that you come back for the next series. We are here on the 2nd and 4th Mondays of every month at 7:30 p.m. via Zoom. I want to thank everyone that is listening to this call, and I pray that you are able to break the toxic soul ties and become a healthy and better you. That we're going to call it a night. Thank you for joining in. May you be blessed.